Welcome to a Corporate Nitro special investigation into the first RC car in the world. Oh, I didn't see you there. You might be wondering, why is he wearing a suit? Why is he wearing a three-piece suit? He's at home. Well, I'll tell you the reason why. I'm wearing a suit to show respect to the oldest RC car in the world. That's right. It's not the newest. It's not the best. You can't launch it at the skate park. But it's the oldest RC car in the world. Let's have a look. And why is it wearing a business shirt? I'll tell you why. This car is so old, it only wears business shirts. You know what I'm talking about. You see those old guys that just wear business shirts all the time? It's the only thing that fits them. Check it out. Ferrari 512S. From the brand Elettronica Giocattoli. Very different to the RC cars we see today. Very, very different. This is where the batteries would have gone. Corroded terminals, you can see there. Hard plastic tyres. Very toy grade in appearance. There's no chassis. It's just a top and a bottom screwed together. That's what makes the chassis. The top, maybe it's made from ABS plastic. And then the bottom. So it's a two-piece plastic chassis. No steering servo, but there's this servo type motor, electric motor, that operates a worm gear to turn the wheels. Pretty crazy. An electronics board, that's your radio and your ESC all in one. This would have been AM radio, forward and reverse. Apparently, now I don't have the transmitter, but apparently the longer you held left and right, the more the wheels would turn. I don't think the throttle would have been proportional. It was either forward or reverse. Now, this is not working. We've got wires hanging loose. It looks like the rear axle is not in the best condition. And also we don't have a transmitter. But let's go through the history of this company, Elettronica Giocattoli, and we'll see what we can find out. I'll just show you these gears from another angle. Look at these gears. It's pretty crazy. Ferrari 512S. Got this from my neighbour. He lives across the road from me. He's in his 80s. Sam, thank you. Really appreciate you donating this to the channel so that we can put it on YouTube, show the world. Sam bought this in 1971 in Reggio Emilia in Italy. And he was warned. They warned him. If you come to Australia from Italy, you will not get parts for this car. There's no parts in Australia. Parts support, zero. He took a risk. He brought it here anyway. He brought the car and his future to Australia. I mean, look at that. What is it? A Le Mans racer? That's got to be Le Mans racer. Single seat cockpit, aerodynamic design. Let's go through some of the history on this car. So, on the web, there's a forum called Ferrari Chat, who translated some information that was published in Italian I'll read it to you. Elettronica Giocattoli was founded in Reggio Emilia in 1964. Later, it became ELLEGI. They made several good quality car models in plastic, in scales 110 and about 113, like the Fiat 850 and several Ferraris and Alfa Romeos. In 1967, ELLEGI decided to make a slot car track. The choice fell on two shoddy models, a Ford GT40 and a Ferrari 250 LM, 17 centimeters long and in 1/24 scale. They called this toy the Radiopista ELLEGI. Those two plastic models had brass shoes, braids, and an electric motor. They ran on the track and were radio controlled. Technical problems convinced ELLEGI to suspend track production, and commercially it was a disaster. ELLEGI later successfully built several other large-scale models. Production lasted until 1984. In 1985, new ELLEGI was founded in Carlbosco Sopra in the province of Reggio Emilia. Production lasted until 1994. Oh, look at her. The original Offner chick. Playing with her Ferrari. In the street. And now she's using spanners that are too big. She's got a wheel wrench that's probably for a 1/5 gas car or a Fiat. These look like batteries that are way too big for the car, but I can't say for sure. That is the original transmitter. Yeah, she looks like she's having fun. I mean, she doesn't know what to do with her hands, but she's having fun. And now, this is the translation of this article. No wonder, one day or another, in the midst of the chaotic traffic of our cities, we saw a red Ferrari 250 Le Mans, about 30 centimeters long, traveling alone, sipping between one wheel and another of normal cars, stopping and restart at a traffic light. We said 30 centimeters about, something that is a little more than a car radio. In our world so full of technical prodigies, it would not be surprising for this. In fact, that mysterious object could be the model that an Italian factory, the ELLEGI, has launched it recently to the delight of fans of moving models. This is precisely the Ferrari 250 Le Mans, a rather unusual construction, not so much because it moves by itself, but because its movements are radio controlled. No wires, no guides, therefore, but only an impertinent machine that goes for a walk far and wide, obeying only the impulses that come to it via radio. A tiny, prismatic box with a telescopic antenna and transmitter and the brain of the building. There are 4 keys. The first, at the top, on-off, functions as a simple switch to start the transmitter. The other 3 are operational. The one immediately below, stop forward, controls the movement of the car. The other 2 keys, left, right, allow you to steer the car, left or right. The model is therefore equipped with 3 radio channels. We come to the technical data of the Ferrari ELLEGI. Its speed with charged batteries is about 60 meters per minute, which means 3.6 kilometers per hour. 2 9-volt batteries are needed for the power supply for the receiver transmitter system and 6 1.5-volt batteries for the powertrain. That is, the 2 electric motors trimmed on board, one for traction, the other for power steering. The transmitter has a maximum range of 20 meters. Beyond this range, the model evades the radio control and continues its march without being able to obey the commands in the direction established by the last radio pulse. Constituted in 1/12 scale, the Ferrari LG has a plastic bodywork, unbreakable and particularly impact resistant, which is held together by life and can be dismantled in various parts, so as to make every organ of the car accessible. The front hood can be opened. Cost, with remote control and without batteries, 28,000 lire, and is accompanied by a guarantee coupon. To operate it, just supply it with batteries, which can be found in stores of electric collectible items, after which the model is ready for use. Driving the Ferrari LG is not difficult and is quite fun. You need to do a little hand to get the maximum performance and driving satisfaction. The right and left curves are obtained, as we said, by pressing on the respective buttons. Their effect is to move the front wheels proportionally to the time that these buttons are pressed. Therefore, to obtain slight movements, one has to act with small strokes. For tight curves, on the other hand, it is necessary to press fully and longer. With the wheels fully steered, a special circuit provides for the stop. It is therefore not necessary to insist on pressing to keep the maximum slack. So here is a miniature car that lends itself very well for skills, competitions, and small-scale gymkhana. Its speed, 3.6 kilometers per hour, which translated into real measurements would correspond to 43.2 kilometers per hour, is certainly not worthy of a Ferrari 250. It is necessary, however, to note that a truer speed that is higher, easily obtainable by upgrading the traction motor, would jeopardize the precious model and compromise its driving, which, all things considered, is the fun it can offer. The aesthetics of the model is discreet. The line is good, not very pleasant, but the color is mixed and the finishes are not very accurate. However, these are details to which an enthusiast can remedy by means of some retouching. On the same model, LG also put on the market an assembly box with all the parts for the construction, excluding the transceiver apparatus. This version, without radio control, specially made for collectors, costs 6,950 lire. Model car racing using tethers, rails and slots had been around for years, but the dream of the driver being able to steer the car remotely needed the new technology of radio control, and specifically, the technology of proportional steering and speed control was needed to race cars remotely. How did that dream become reality? What is the true history? History. As the years go by, history becomes faded. Since I was deeply involved with starting, in 1970, the first ever wide area championship, the Midwest Series, for the new hobby of radio control RC model car racing, I have decided to gather first-hand information from back in the day. Car Model CM magazine was one excellent source. CM covered all aspects of model cars, building plastic kits, collecting die-cast models, racing slot cars in various scales, and, when various remotely controlled cars appeared on the scene, they were very involved in reporting about the various types, primarily cars being controlled remotely by radio. I have compiled an index of cars from Car Model, Model Car Science, and other magazines from back in the day. You can see that index here. Two of the early pioneers from those articles are discussed below. 1966, Electric RC Car Pioneers. It is interesting to note that, although 1/8 scale internal combustion gas cars, more recently called nitro cars, a methanol fuel with nitromethane added for more power, were dominant in early racing, electric RC race cars in 1/16 and 1/18 scale were also being developed. In the March 1967 issue of Car Model magazine, on page 27, Tom Dion wrote an article about radio control, the newest craze in model racing. Also, in 1966, a major company in the hobby industry introduced an electric car. the mysterious 1966 Italian first RC car. As the 50th anniversary of the Midwest series approached, I began in 2017 researching early RC car history around the world. Many internet references had a cut and paste version of this story. Several early commercially viable RC cars were available by mid-1966, produced by the Italian company ELLEGI, Elettronica Giocattoli, from Reggio Emilia. Their first model, a 1/12 scale Ferrari 250 LM, was available in the UK in December 1966 through importers Model Books and Accessories, St. Martin's, London, and early in 1967 through Atkinson's Model Shop in Swansea. I have finally found pictures variously claimed to be the 1/12 scale Ferrari 250 LM RC car by Elettronica Giocattoli. More research was needed to identify dates and details. A Facebook rock crawler page was, ironically, the first place I found a small photograph of the 1/12 scale Ferrari 250 LM RC car by Elettronica Giocattoli. I don't think it would do very well at rock crawling. Look at that. The car, the transmitter, perfect condition. Whoa, open the hood, you can see the steering motor. No corrosion on these terminals. Whoa, inside the transmitter. That's nuts. And it's a different aerial this time on this one. This is what the transmitter would have looked like. Little aerial spring, little red box, spento off, accesso on, sinistra left. The longer you hold the button, the more the car would turn left. Destra right, fermo stationary, avanti go forward. So it seems this is taking one speed is all you need, a little bit too literally. One speed and not proportional. It was either not go or go. At least you had some kind of proportion to the steering. Well, there you have it. We've got the history of the first RC car in the world, 1966 Ferrari 250 LM. However, this is from 1971, a Ferrari 512S. So not too long after. And if you've got any similar cars to this from this company, LG, let us know in the comments. And we can share the information and first-hand research together. Let's do our due diligence and find out if there was anything before this car in 1960s and early 70s. All right, let's have a closer look at the Ferrari 512S, purchased in 1971 by my neighbour, Salvatore Iacono. Two-piece plastic body. I've already removed the screws. Non-functional wiper, however you can move it. Seems like the headlights have been removed. Not too sure if there was working bulbs in there at any stage. Hard plastic wheels. See-through blue windscreen. I've got some fake exhaust tips here at the back. This is such an important moment that I'm going to put a fancy watch on to do this. Let's take the body off. I've already removed the screws. Have a quick look underneath. We can see the steering wheel. There's a little sticker sheet here to give you the dash controls, telemetry. A bit of mold on here, might clean that up later. A bit of vinegar in the air compressor. Okay, it's time to get to the meat and potatoes of this RC car. The first thing that stands out, I would have to say, is that there's no steering servo. It's just a motor and a worm gear. So apparently the longer you hold the button on the transmitter, the more it would steer, left or right. So that's got to be the first implementation of proportional steering I've ever heard of. Next we can see the electric motor, brushed motor on the rear. Now we can see the axle is cracked here. So I think even if we had power connected to this, it probably wouldn't turn anyway. I'll do a quick test. Okay, so the axle is spinning freely and it doesn't seem to be connected to any of these gears. That's okay. We've also got some loose wiring here as well, such as this one. Don't even know where that one goes. But without a transmitter, it really doesn't matter. So this would be the integrated radio and speed controller. So in the earlier models, it seemed that the 9-volt battery would have to be in the transmitter and another 9-volt battery in the car to do the communications. And then you would have your 6 1.5-volt batteries to do the power for the motor. But in this car, it just might be all integrated into the one unit. So that is really the first implementation of BEC, battery eliminator circuitry. Sharing the power for your drive motor to also operate your steering and your radio functions. I mean, yeah, definitely I'm wearing the right watch for this job. Great history right here. If you like your RC, this really is the Indiana Jones Holy Grail. I think we'll clean this up, put the screws back in, and put this one on the shelf. Corporate Nitro Special Report, signing out.